Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day so far and that your day is improved by this maths lesson. We're going to look at multiples today, something that you will all be familiar with. It's a nice bit of revision and thinking about vocabulary. Please make sure you have a sharp pencil and then a coloured pen or pencil that you can mark your work with. Your first task today is using the numbers from the box, find pairs that multiply together to give the total, or we call product when it's the total when you multiply, below. So for example, if the number 15 was there, I would look in the box and I'd think, oh, 5 times 3 is 15. The trick is you can only use each of the numbers in the box once. So there are 3 6s, you can have 6 3 times, but you cannot use any other numbers except the ones that are in the box. Pause the video while you have a go. Did you find the correct pairs? Pause the video while you mark. So we know that a multiple is a whole number that you find in the times table of any given number. So if you look at the box below, I know it's a little bit blurry, but you can see they've highlighted the multiples of 3. So we've got the 3 times table, 3, 6, 9, 12, etc., etc. The first number, the first multiple, is always the number that you're looking for. So the first multiple of 7 is 7, the first multiple of 3 is 3, etc. Your next task is to list the first 5 multiples of each of these numbers. So I've done the first one for you. So the first 5 multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. F is a little bit of a challenge, so see how you get on with that one. Pause the video while you answer the questions. How did you get on? Pause the video while you mark. Have a look at this row of numbers. Can you first of all identify which of the numbers are multiples of 4? Think about if you're looking for a multiple of 4, what are you looking for? Are you looking for odd or even numbers? Think about that carefully. Then look for which of the numbers are multiples of 6 and which numbers are the multiples of 9. Pause the video while you answer. Were you correct? Pause the video while you mark. A little bit of reasoning practice now. So it's really important that you practice explaining your understanding in maths. So if there's somebody around you, or you've got your pet nearby, or there's a plant nearby, can you explain whether you think 43 is a multiple of 5 or not? And explain to somebody or something around you how you know that. Pause the video while you do it. So I'm hoping you've all said something along the lines of, we know that multiples of 5 end in 5 or 0. So 43 cannot be a multiple of 5 because it ends in 3. Now try this slightly trickier one. Is 62 a multiple of 3? Think about your knowledge of the multiples of 3 and how you could use that to help you work out the answer to this question. And explain to someone or something around you how you know. I do apologise for my very messy handwriting here. I'm sure yours is much better. I'm trying to write on a computer screen at the moment, so it's a bit tricky. There's kind of 2 ways you could have done this. So if I were doing it, I think of my knowledge of the 3 times table. I know that 10 times 3 is 30, and that helps me work out that then 60 is also a multiple of 3 because that's double 30, so 20 times 3 is 60. And then 62, well, 2 is less than 3. 2 is not a multiple of 3, so I know that 62 is not a multiple of 3. Or you could have used a method, for example, short division, or we like to call it the bus stop method, to work this out. So thinking, for example, how many times does 3 go into 6? It goes in twice. How many times does it go into 2? It doesn't, so we have a remainder 2. And because there's not a whole number as our answer, we know that it's not a multiple of 3. Little bit easier this time. Explain to someone or something around you whether 9 is a multiple of 7 or not. Pause the video while you explain. So if we look at the 7 times table, 7 is the first multiple. We know that 14 is the second multiple. The actual difference between 7 and 9 is only 2, so it cannot be, 9 cannot be a multiple of 7. Okay, our final reasoning question before we move on to our next task is 45 a multiple of 9? How do you know? And there's a little trick with the 9 times table of working out which numbers are multiples of 9. I wonder if you know it already. You will notice with numbers in the 5 times table that when you add their digits together, so 45, when you add 4 and 5, you get 9. I wonder if you could try this with some other multiples of 9. Does this always happen? So your main task today is to find common multiples. Now you've probably heard the phrase, I have a lot in common with my friends. That means you share things. So you might have your football team in common with your friends. So it's when you share something. So you're going to, for each of the numbers that you're given, is find the lowest common multiple. So let's have a look at this example. So 7 and 3. So you will write out, for example, the 7 times table, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. I wouldn't recommend writing above the 10 times of the number. And then the multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. And you can see that the multiple that they share, and they might share others later on in the times tables, the multiple that they share is 21, that's the lowest number. So it's your turn to have a go. So for example, the first one, 3 and 4, so you can write out the multiples of 3, don't go above 10 times 3, write out the multiples of 4 and see if you can find the lowest common multiple. LCM stands obviously for lowest common multiple. Pause the video while you have a go at these questions. I hope the answers aren't too small here for you, so mark them. If you got any wrong, can you work out where you've gone wrong? And if you have any questions, you can always email your class teacher if you're not sure. Pause the video while you mark. Okay, I've got 2 challenges for you today. The first one is to fill in this table. You're going to tick whether you think the number is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So looking at the number 26, for example, is it divisible by 2? Yes. How do I know? Well, it's an even number. It ends in a 6. I know that it's in the 2 times table because 13 times 2 is 26. So I would tick that box. Then you think, is it divisible by 3? Now thinking about my 3 times table, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. No, it's not divisible by 3. And so on and so forth. What I recommend you do is very neatly, you'll need a ruler, draw out the table and then you can put the ticks in. Obviously it does get trickier, especially when you move on to the next few numbers. Think about using short division, your bus stop method, or think about what other methods you could use to work this out. It is meant to challenge you. Pause the video while you have a go. How did you get on? So I find it really interesting that 120 is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Do you know maybe why that is? How did you work it out? I hope you got them correct. Pause the video while you mark. And your final task today is to fill in this Venn diagram. I absolutely love a Venn diagram, so I'm assuming that you all know how they work. You will have used them lots before. So you've got to think about different multiples of 3, 4 and 6 and think about whether some of the numbers are shared, so they are a common multiple of 3 and 6, for example like the number 18. Or there might be numbers that are multiples of 3, 4 and 6. So see how many numbers you can fit into this Venn diagram. Once you're finished, that's the end of our lesson. I hope you've enjoyed it and have a lovely rest of the day. Bye!